I'm often asked is, okay, I understand if I'm expressing my own opinion, or if I'm asked to comment on the concept, then I'm finding it easy to explain it or explain my position in my own words. But what about biology? When it comes to biology, it's all facts, right? So I read this fact in a book. How on earth can I put this fact and explain it in my own words? And that sort of often throws people, and they just don't understand how to do it because, well, fact is a fact, and what do you want me to do about it? So in this video, I wanted to show you how to do just that, because ultimately that's what you'll have to do. You will have to take information you read in books or you watched in a video, and you'll have to put it in a way which expresses your personal understanding. So a couple of tips, first of all. First of all, make sure you don't just use one source of information, because if you just read one explanation in one source, it's going to be really difficult for you to figure out how you can move away from that particular sequence of sentences, from that particular way of explaining things. So, what you need to try to aim to do is to have at least two sources of information where the same concept, the same idea in biology expressed into different ways. So two, ideally three sources if you can do it. And that then gives you a kind of more wider understanding of how that information can be expressed in different ways. So once you've done that, once you've read a couple of sources or you watched a couple of videos, make sure you then close everything. So don't have books right in front of you, or don't have that website right in front of you, but have your blank now piece of paper, your brand new fresh document, okay, and think, right, what do I understand from what I read, from what I watched? And as much as possible, try to then explain it and express it in your own way. So that's essentially how you go about it. Now, of course, you can still have a glance here and there and check that you're using terminology correctly, that you haven't missed out a chunk of information. By all means, do that. But what I think is the worst thing you can do, and that's where a lot of people kind of fall into this trap of plagiarism and high similarity, is when they copy and paste a bunch of information into their assignment, and then they say to themselves, well, all I need to do really is just to reword, or take one word here and change it a little bit, or take the sentence and swap beginning of a sentence with the end of a sentence. Because that approach is going to leave you with very high similarity level. It's not a good idea at all. So please do not do it that way. Do not copy and paste and then think, if I just change a little bit of a sentence here, a little bit of a sentence there, it does not represent still your own work. It does not represent your understanding. You need to kind of start with a blank page, with an idea in your head of what you understand, and then just write it down the way you personally grasped it. So in this next exercise, we are going to do just that. So let's imagine you have an assignment, and one of the questions in this assignment tells you, explain lock and key theory of hormone action. And there you go, that's your question. And now you start to look at books, at websites, at videos, and you start reading about this topic. Now, at this point in time, lock and key theory of hormone action probably doesn't mean much to you at all. So what would typically happen is you would attend a lecture, or this year probably might be a video which you'll need to watch. So you watch this explanation, and then you go away, you look for a biology book and you read an explanation there. Maybe you go on the web and read similar explanation about the same topic on the web, and then you take all this information, and as I said, you close everything and you write it the way you understand it. So that's what we're going to do. So in the next link, in the next video, it's going to be my explanation of this lock and key theory of hormone action. And then I'm going to give you a Word document which contains two further sources of information about the same topic. So what I'd like you to do is watch my video, my explanation, then read the Word document with two more explanations of the same concept, and then have a go at writing your own understanding. And try to aim for between kind of third to a half of A4 page, yeah? Maybe a little bit less if you're sort of feeling less confident, but let's also try to include a diagram. So let's say your half a page or third of a page is going to also include a diagram to illustrate this process. So when you're using this diagram, I'd like you to use particular format for the diagram. So have your diagram, then underneath it, it's going to say diagram 1 with a capital D, full stop, and then title of your diagram. So in this case, it's probably going to be lock and key action of lock and key theory of hormone action. And then in your text, in the place where you feel it's appropriate to include the link to that diagram, you're going to say see in brackets, see diagram 1, or it can be at the beginning of a sentence you might say, as you can see from diagram 1, and then you're describing what people can see on that particular diagram. So that's really good approach. Okay, so that was a little introduction to the next part of the task. So your next job is to watch the video with my explanation and then read Word document with the alternative explanation, and then finally write your own explanation and include a diagram to accompany it. Thank you very much.